Welcome to the Tikit demo series. In today's presentation, we're going to work through and highlight the different ways that Tikit aligns with ITIL best practices and how Tikit can adapt to any incident, any service request, or any change process. This will be more of a summary presentation and video. We will do a little more deep dive across each one of the most commonly used ITIL processes, being incident, service request, and change. So Tikit can align to any ITIL process that you may want to adopt at your business. And you can see here my agent, who's Diego here. He's logged in, and in this ticket list, you'll see that across this ticket list, there's different incidents, changes, and service requests that he can work on here. And we're gonna highlight each one of these here. So I can work off of a ticket list and work on incidents, changes, or service requests, or I can easily bounce to custom views and be able to see things that are more specific. So let's just take a look at all of our incidents. And incidents are incidents. They're break fixes, the things that are coming from the business and things that need to be handled right away. So, my printer is broken issue, as an example. I can go in there and troubleshoot that ticket. I can send a message to the end user and say, please try to unplug and plug the printer back in. I'll send that over to them. They'll receive that message in the web, via Teams, via email, depending on how the system's set up. When it's solved, we can go ahead and come over here and resolve that ticket. Basic incident management, troubleshooting, things of that nature. I also have the ability to manage service requests in the business. So if I bounce my view over to all service requests, we'll see here a list of service requests. Now, any ticket to include service requests can be elevated to have what we call custom form to ask questions around the type of service request. So a new hire versus a software request might need different information asked of it to be able to fulfill that request across the business. But we also can provide what we call a life cycle, which gives us the ability to provide governance around workflows and phases to that particular process. Now, there's a whole presentation on custom forms and life cycles that I applaud you to go check out on our specific video there. But if I were to take a look at any one of these service requests, so let's just take 1519 as an example. This is a new hire process. Now, this new hire process has two interesting elements to it that allow for this process to travel across the business to fulfill this new hire. The first is when we created this ticket, we were able to present the end user or the agent with a form. And that form allows for us to fill out the information needed to fulfill this request. We also have this concept of a life cycle. So our new hire life cycles apply to this new hire process. Now, this ticket is owned by HR, who's governing this process. But there's a bunch of phases that are cross-departmental that are required to be fulfilled to be able to move this process forward. So you'll see here in phase one, we had a new hire approval. And this approval had been completed by Diego here. And then phase two is going to provision some accounts before phase three can hit, which is going setting up some hardware. Now, there's another video talking about Power Automate integration, but any one of these tasks can be kicked over to Power Automate and be able to automatically perform some functions such as creating an Azure account or setting up Teams access inside of this particular phase here. And the other thing I want to highlight here is around the life cycle and phases is that a life cycle can have one or as many phases as you like and can have one or as many tasks and or approvals that you may like. So in my first phase, I have one approval, but in my second phase, I have a few tasks here that need to be completed before I move this process forward to the next phase. And this can go for any type of service request. My example is a new hire, but software requests, hardware requests, things of that nature. And let's bounce over to our third example, which is a change request. So I'll move my view over here to my change management requests. And you'll see here in this example, I have a few requests here. I have a standard change and an emergency change. And just for today's presentation, we'll drop into ticket 1522 to highlight what a change would look like. So a change could have some or all of the same elements as a service request, just pivoted and translated to a change. So you'll see here that this change has a custom form. This custom form is to fulfill a change management process. So the justification, implementation plan, test plan, things of that nature. It also has a life cycle that is required for my standard change in my business. Now this one has 4 phases. Phase 1 is an approval. Phase 1 is to test the change. Then is the CAB approval. Then the implementation. And then the review of that change to make sure it was successfully implemented. We're currently in a CAB approval, and in my CAB I have 2 members, and both members have to actually approve this request to be able to move this to the implementation phase. So again, to highlight, Tikit has the ability to work and manage across any ITIL process, the most common being incident, service request, and change, but can further mature depending on where you're at as a business. And we do that in a couple different ways: basic ticket management across incident management, but also the ability to do service requests and changes by leveraging concepts such as lifecycle, templates, and custom forms. I want to thank you for watching today's presentation. Check out those deep dives for incident, service request, and change as well. And if you have any questions, please email team@tikit.ai. Thanks.